Alright, looks like I am live. So I am MrUppercaseT, and this is Super Cat Bros, or Super Cat Tales, depending on whether you're an iOS or an Android person. I'm on iOS, so this game is called Super Cat Tales. If you're on Android, it's Super Cat Bros. It's the same game. So this is a mobile game. This is a mobile platformer for iOS and Android, and we're gonna beat it real fast, I guess. So time is gonna start when I click on the first level here, which will be in 3, 2, 1, go. So yeah, this is a very simple platformer. I guess we can start off with the controls. So a lot of mobile games, you know, they have the buttons on the screen, your thumbs slip off of them because you can't actually feel the buttons. This game has two buttons, the left half of the screen and the right half of the screen. Pressing left will make you move left, pressing right will make you move right. If you double tap, you'll sprint instead of walking, which is quicker, but it has the disadvantage that if you sprint into a wall, you'll bonk off of it. Whereas if you walk into a wall, you'll start climbing like this. So we do a trick called dash canceling where you just tap the opposite direction right before you hit a wall, which makes you, done optimally, you lose basically no speed at all. Similarly, there's no jump button in this game because there's only the two buttons, so the only way you can jump is by running off of an edge or jumping off of a wall by tapping the opposite direction. So if you sprint off of an edge, you'll jump. If you walk off of an edge, you'll fall. We want to fall in a lot of cases, so you can do the same trick. You just tap the opposite direction right before you go off the edge. And it actually puts you in a weird, sort of glitched falling state where you can actually sprint while falling and even stop sprinting and start sprinting again all in the air. This is called a ledge dive, and it is very, very awesome. We'll see a very good example of it in this next stage. So this is like a town level. There's no enemies or anything. There's just a bunch of NPCs. But I'm going to climb all the way to the top of this tree and then dive off of it. So I'm going to grab this bell, and then right here, you see I was like falling straight down, and then once I cleared the threshold, I started going diagonally. That's due to the ledge dive, which is sort of a bit glitchy, I guess. So I'm going to pick up this key. So we're just collecting a bunch of collectibles. And then right here, I'm going to jump over the shop, because if we went in front of the shopkeeper would talk to us, and we don't want that. So, but I'm collecting keys and bells. Keys you need to just open doors. Bells we need to unlock each of the worlds. So at the start of every world, there's a gatekeeper who only lets you in if you have the correct number of bells. In particular, World 6, which is the final world, needs 70 bells to get in. And there are only 78 possible bells that we could collect before World 6, so we need to get most of them. 5 of them are in bonus stages, which are... hang on. 5 of them are in bonus stages, which are really, really slow, so that leaves 73 bells, of which we need 70. So we need to get most of them. But we are going to skip just the 3 slowest ones. So, for instance, we skip one in that level, because we can't actually get it right now. We'd have to backtrack to that stage later. Anyways, we're coming up on the first boss here. As soon as I finish climbing this tree. So here he is, it's a giant beetle. This fight is pretty straightforward. I'm just going to jump and get his attention so that he chases after me, and then I'm just going to sprint off to the left here, and I was a little early there, but you knock him down by bonking into the wall. And then we can exit the level, picking up a bell on the way. We're also picking up coins. I'm not going to go out of my way for any coins, but we are picking them up. Coins are used to purchase power-ups. It's sort of like a Super Mario 3 sort of thing. You have like a global inventory and you can choose to start levels with power-ups. And we use some of them in the run where they save time. Pick up a bell there. I got that bell by destroying all the dandelions by sprinting past them. There's a lot of random mini-games for bells that you sort of just have to know about. So this is a butterfly minigame also for a bell. You collect the 5 butterflies in a certain amount of time. And that's the end of World 1. So I'm going to do a little bit of a trick here. So after I talk to this gatekeeper, I'm going to try and pick up this bell underwater, and I want to stay as far to the left as possible. And this is to manipulate the camera. I think I went a little too far there. So this guy's going to get in my way now, so I'm just going to smack him. But if I was a little bit further to the left, he wouldn't have spawned, because enemies spawn right before they come on screen. So if I could have just stayed to the left a little bit longer, his pattern would be such that I could just sprint right past him, but oh well. I guess I can talk about damage. As you see, I'm intentionally hitting some enemies. If you get hit in this game, you get these stars orbiting around your head. That lasts for about 5 seconds. If you get hit while there are stars orbiting around your head, you die. But that means you can actually get hit as many times as you want over the course of a level, as long as there's 5 seconds between each hit. So it's pretty lenient with the damage. And here's our first cat friend. So you thought Alex, who is the cat we're playing as right now, was the only cat. No, there are more than one. This game has a whole party of cats that each of them have their own perks and drawbacks. So Brutus, for instance, can break through blocks. Alex, the cat we were playing as previously, can climb walls really high. So now we need to manage swapping cats. If you're standing on one of these pink pads at the start of the game, at the start of the levels, you can swap cats by opening up the menu. And right off the bat, I'm going to do a glitch. I'm Alex again. Basically, that's called menu storage. If you're standing on one of the pink pads, the menu actually only opens when you release the button. So you can start pressing the button when you're standing on the pad and then release it later on and open the menu wherever. So you store a use of the menu for later, hence menu storage. It doesn't have all that many uses because the game, while you're holding the button, the game thinks you're holding down left because you are, so you can't really run. And like swimming is really awkward with it too, but it saves time in a few places. Ooh, okay, that was close. I got this level's kind of finicky. These enemies have a sort of weird patterns. I'm also I'm doing ledge dives into all of these tiny potholes with coins in them. It's slightly faster than jumping, so my movement's actually like slightly finicky as I'm like tapping the opposite direction randomly and then immediately trying to sprint again. Okay, got over that guy. That was perfect. And we're out. So this next stage, I'm going to do the next glitch, which is called the menu glitch. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and swap to a cat that I haven't unlocked yet. So let's see if we can do this. This might take me a couple of tries. Some days you can get it really quickly, some days it takes you a little while. Rose. This saves time, I swear. Okay, there we go. So now I'm Shinji, a cat that I haven't yet unlocked. Shinji's perk is that he can swim through swift currents, like where this key is. How that's done is, when you open up the menu, you see the silhouettes of all the cats that you haven't unlocked. You can click on them for, I think it's just 1 frame, right when the menu finishes opening. So I was just opening and closing the menu. Every time I opened it, it was because I messed it up. I was just trying to click on the cat on the correct frame. So this shopkeeper stops us, so we're gonna buy our first couple of power-ups here. Ooh, I nearly messed that one up. That we'll use in the next couple levels. Since he stops you anyways, you might as well. So I'm still Shinji here, which is handy. There's another Shinji locked bell in this stage as well. The intended way to do this is you're supposed to beat these levels twice. You're supposed to backtrack and do them later. I didn't mean to hit that fish. That's unfortunate, but it's all right. But right here, there's this current pushing you down. Only Shinji can swim through it, so we can get this bell without having to come back to this level later. So you see, like, even though it took me like 15 seconds to swap to Shinji, like, I don't have to do this level a second time, which just saves like 40 seconds. So the menu glitch is definitely worth it, even if you mess it up a lot. Alright, here I'm going to do a couple of glitches in a row. I'll execute it first and then explain what I'm doing. So I'm going to swap to Brutus, swap to Alex underwater, and then swap back to Brutus, and then jump into the ceiling and pick up this bell. So what I did is I got menu storage by holding down the menu button, and then I swapped cats underwater, which you're normally not supposed to be able to do. And then the game gets confused and thinks that the original cat that you swapped from is still underwater. So then when you swap back to them, where am I? There we are. When you swap back to them, you jump immediately because the game thinks that you're underwater and you're not in water anymore, so it makes you jump out of the water. So that's how you can get a jump even when you're not supposed to be able to. And then that ceiling just doesn't exist because you shouldn't be able to touch it ever because you can't actually jump in this game normally. So you just go right through the ceiling. And then later on in the stage, that wall also just doesn't exist for whatever reason. So you can just go right through it. So I have my first power up here. This is Tentacool. He's going to use Bubble to attack enemies. And we brought him in not for these squids, but for the boss fight here, which is going to start. So this is sort of an auto-scroller. This giant fish is going to chase us through the level, but with some very precise swimming, we can actually sneak past him. This is actually very tricky to do, but there we go. So we can just swim past him, and you can see he's very confused. You're not supposed to be able to get behind him. He didn't know what to do, so he just sort of stands there and gets killed. Which works out really nicely. But you see this sort of obstacle course that I'm going through right now. You're supposed to go through this being chased by that giant fish. Also, the cat swims much faster when your head is rubbed up against the ceiling. I'm not sure why that is. I assume it's because cats like rubbing up on things. That's my canonical reason why that's the case. So, whenever you're swimming, you want to just be hugging the ceiling, if possible. And that's the end of World 2. So back to Alex here for now. This guy's going to open the gate for us because we have enough bells. We're going to do a nice ledge dive here. Just go diagonally downwards. I'm doing ledge dives all over the place. I'm not really pointing them out, but they're very satisfying to do. I find the movement in this game very satisfying. Ledge dives are just tricky enough that like doing them properly feels really, really satisfying, I guess. So to reiterate, what I'm doing is right before going off any edge, I have to tap the opposite direction and then immediately double tap to start sprinting again. So there's just like a bunch of short button presses, which, again, it's not particularly difficult, but it feels really nice to do. Alright, some tight cycles in this stage. There's two types of cycles in this game. There's local ones and global ones. So global ones are things like windmills and fire bars. Whereas enemies, they're local. They sort of spawn right before they come on screen, so they affect cycles differently. Sometimes you have to do the whole level perfectly, sometimes you just need to do sections of the level perfectly. This is looking okay so far, though I didn't get past the very first enemy. You can actually get under him, but... Sneak under that guy, he hits me, but that's fine. You can actually fit under that without getting hit, but it's not a big deal. Alright, so I'm going to do my next menu glitch here. I'm going to do it later on in the stage. For whatever reason, that first duck that just ran away from me, he spawns in like a seemingly random location. And if he spawns really close to you, you want to do the menu swap, the menu glitch at the start of the stage. And if he spawns really far away like he did there, you want to use the swap pad halfway through the level to do it instead. Just works out timing-wise better. Okay, that one was a little faster. So here, we're Kuro, our OSHA-compliant cat. He can see in the dark with his little lamp. Unfortunately, the other cats just cannot go into the darkness at all. They just get scared and run away. Which is too bad, because it'd be nice if you could just do the level blindfolded, but anyways. And again, you're supposed to come back to this level later once you've unlocked Kuro to get that bell, so which makes it obscenely slow, but we can just get it now with the menu glitch. My next power-up here, this is the Golden Bat, or Golbat. He collects coins for you, and in particular, this is a red coin level, so he's going to pick up some coins right above me right now, which saves... I missed the platform, but that's fine. But it saves about 4 seconds, because you save one full windmill cycle, you don't have to go up there yourself. And if you collect the 3 red coins in a level, you get a bell, which is one of the other recurring minigames. But it's sort of funny, the Golden Bat is completely useless casually. So he collects coins for you, and the coins that he picks up are worth double, but he costs 50 coins, and there's only like 2 or 3 levels in the entire game that actually have more than 25 coins in them. So he's just like not profitable to bring into like almost any level. But anyways. But he's useful for the speedrun, which I guess is sort of often how things go, I suppose. It's another, well, not another. This stage is very ledge divey. There are tons and tons of ledge dives. The movement in this level's pretty finicky. I'm gonna actually come up all the way up here to unlock Kuro. We could actually skip him. We don't actually have to come up here. But then we would need to use the menu glitch every time we want to use Kuro. And we need to swap to Kuro 4 more times throughout the rest of the run. Skipping him would save about 8 seconds. So it's usually just going to be worth it to grab him. Unless you're like a TAS. Because the menu glitch is not the easiest thing to do in the world. Anyways, this stage is designed that you have to like run around in circles 3 times to hit all the switches properly to get the bell and get to the exit. But So it may have looked like I was confused and didn't know what I was doing, but I was actually, that's the only way to do that level. This stage is a pretty tight cycle if I can get it. It looks really nice, I think. Snag this bell out of the air, do a ledge dive off of this cliff, and then you land on that platform perfectly. And another ledge dive, you pick up this bell. I messed up the ledge dive, but that's okay. And we're moving on out. So there's a bunch of bats chasing us. Bats are quite annoying casually. They just sort of chase you. But in the speedrun, as long as you don't mess up, they're mostly fine. If you slow down at all, they start to get annoying. I meant to do a ledge dive there, but that's fine. That one was also messed up, but okay. I'm gonna grab menu storage here, so I'm climbing this wall while holding menu storage. So I'm holding left, and then I'm gonna swap up here to back to Kuro. So you need Alex to climb up the wall. And there's a swap pad in this pit that I'm walking over right now. And so that's where you're supposed to swap to Kuro, but with menu storage, we don't have to go down there, which saves a bunch of time, and we can pick up this key. It doesn't save that much time, it saves a few seconds, but menu storage is a very easy glitch, so. Alright, 3/8. Another very finicky ledge divey filled level. Though this one's very interesting. This is a boss fighting level, and about a week ago I discovered that you can actually skip this boss entirely while practicing for this marathon, actually. And it saves about 30 seconds, which is really awesome. But in the meantime, I'm just jumping around these cubes and picking up all the bells and stuff, and trying not to accidentally jump. So right here, I'm just going to do this jump, and we clip through the wall, and we don't have to fight the boss, because we can just get to the finish line instead. You're supposed to obviously fight a boss so that you can open up that door, but we just don't have to do it. Alright, into World 4. World 4 is terrible. There's ice. Ice physics are really bad, wind physics are really bad, but anyways, we'll make it work. Brutus can grab that red coin without stopping. Every other cat has a slightly smaller hitbox than Brutus and can't actually grab that coin. And now we're going to clip into the wall. So you're supposed to use Alex to climb up here, because Alex can climb really high, but by clipping through the wall you can just do it as Brutus, which is really nice. So we need Brutus for the end of the stage anyways. Yeah, and that wall clip just works. You just hit the correct spot and you go right through the wall. Wind is very good at sort of pushing you through walls. You can do it accidentally in a lot of places. But yeah, this world is very glitch filled too. It has the most menu glitches by a lot, and there's also a bunch of wall clips and stuff, and so it's just a really annoying world. This level I need to destroy all the snowmen. That is the snowmen in the background, not the enemies. And you have to do that by sprinting past them. Oh geez, okay, we're dead. Didn't mean to hit that guy, but... So that's what happens when you get hit multiple times within 5 seconds. But that's okay. In theory, you have 5 lives, and if you run out of 5 lives, you actually have to like wait 20 minutes to play more, because this is a mobile game. But I've actually purchased infinite lives, so we're okay. Not that I don't think I've ever died 5 times. It's like actually really hard to die in this game, but I don't think I've ever died 5 times while doing a speedrun, but just for safety, I have restored my in-app purchases, so I have my infinite lives. So you saw I skipped I was supposed to unlock a cat in the previous level. I can't actually unlock her just yet. I need to get a key from this stage first. And then we have to go back and get Amy, who is the next cat. However, I'm not actually going to go do that. We're actually just going to skip Amy because, again, we have the menu glitch, so we don't actually need to unlock her, and skipping her saves a whole lot of time. It saves about 1.5 minutes. So it is not worth going back to get her. We're going to need to swap to her 4 more times. I'm not sure if I said that just 2 seconds ago, but... Alright, so our first menu glitch is here. Amy's perk is that she can fit through narrow tunnels. There we go. So she can crawl through those tunnels there. And if you use menu storage and swap cats while you are crawling under one of these tunnels, you'll just immediately clip into the ceiling, which is what I'm going to do here. Swap to Alex, and just climb through there. Saves a tiny bit of time. But that's gonna come up a few more times as well. I'm gonna wait for this. Sometimes you just smack that guy out of the way, but I didn't like the timing, so I just decided to wait. Now I'm gonna try and hit these switches and do this butterfly minigame at the same time, so you just have to jump over that switch there, otherwise you hit it back the other way. Yeah, we're good. Okay. Got all the bells. Someone in the chat is saying they should have given you 9 lives. Yeah, I guess they probably should have. That would have made sense. I was supposed to buy things. This is what I got for reading chat and not paying attention. So I'm gonna buy a fire penguin here, or a Moltres, which is used to melt icy blocks. So I need that in this stage. So you don't actually have to talk to shopkeepers ever. You can just buy things whenever from the menu. Amy, I need you. I take back all those mean things I said about you. Okay, thanks. There we go. So we got the Moltres here. I'm gonna stop and talk to this guy. Thank you for the 50 coins. I'm not gonna rate your game. Okay, thanks. Guy offers you 50 coins to rate the game, but doesn't actually check that you did it. So, you know, we do that. We need those coins for a little later. So you need coins to get power-ups, but you can actually use the menu glitch to get power-ups that you haven't purchased as well, which I'm going to do in this stage actually, because we don't have enough coins to get every power-up that we want during the run, so. It's the same principle, you just need to tap on the icon on the perfect frame. And so again, you could just like not purchase anything ever. Also, I'm flipping through the wall here, and the camera doesn't follow you, so. Let's see if I can pick up the bell. Okay, there's a bell up there. There's also a secret exit up there, and if you accidentally hit the secret exit, you get like booted out of the stage, which is really, really bad, for any percent at least. So, we don't want that to happen. What was I saying? Oh, so you don't need to purchase any items really at all. You can just glitch all of them, but again, the menu glitch is difficult, and so we have the coins anyways. We might as well buy most of them. Alright, sort of tricky level here. If you fall into the water, you just get kicked all the way back to the beginning of the level. I have to fall in the water once to pick up a bell, but other than that, if we fall in, it's really bad, and the ice is a bit tricky. What? That was weird. You literally just hold right there, and you land on that thing every time. I'm not sure what happened there. I guess that's the... Oh, and this bat... I got this bat's attention too, so I'm just gonna sit here and wait. Well, that's awkward. I guess that's my... That's never happened before moment. Let's literally... You literally just hold right, and you land on it every single time. I've never missed that before. Oh well. Only a couple seconds. Alrighty. Final stage of this world, the boss stage again. This one's actually very cycle-based, so there's fire bars, which are like a global cycle, so I need to do, or ideally I want to do this whole level as perfectly as I can to make a cycle near the end. Oh, okay. I meant to do a ledge dive there, which sort of flings you through this whole wind section, but I messed it up, which is unfortunate, but... this area is really treacherous. Oh, my timing is wrong. Okay, this is... Okay, we're fine. So yeah, ideally you'd beat that fire bar to get this bell, but anyways. Ow, now I'm damaged, and this is awkward. Okay, we're fine. Didn't die. So this boss, we're just deflecting his attack back at him, so I'm just gonna land on a particular point on the wall, and his attack goes right back to him. And then I try and jump off the wall with particular timing so this cutscene ends right when I'm in front of the gap here, but I messed that up. That's alright. So, bordering Iceland is of course Lava Land, because that makes total sense, and, you know, sure. So as you can see, this area is filled with lava. Lava is deadly. The game's starting to like actually ramp up in difficulty. It becomes a little bit easier to die. Lava doesn't actually kill you instantly, though. Like anything else in this game, it just damages you very, very fast. If you don't have any damage on you, you can actually fall in the lava and jump out really quickly. But if an enemy hits you into the lava, you're dead. So need to swap to Amy here. Oh no. I don't know, some days you just can't do the menu glitch quickly. Some days you get it like first, second try every time, but today is one of the days where it's just doesn't feel like cooperating. Not that any of them have been too bad, but could have been quicker, but not the worst. So this level I need to destroy all these flowers, so I need to make sure I actually sprint past all of them. Again, for a bell. And there's also a tight cycle towards the end of the stage, and you can actually only do it on a tablet. So this game actually behaves slightly differently if you're on a phone versus a tablet, because they have different resolutions, and enemies spawn right before they come on screen. So if your screen is wider, they'll spawn like sooner. So this cycle here, which I missed, that cycle's really tricky. You can't actually do it on a phone because like the platform goes up a little bit more quickly than versus on a tablet. So yeah, some levels are just faster on phone, some are faster on a tablet. I haven't figured out which is actually faster, but I like playing on my tablet, so that's what I do. This is probably the hardest stage in the game. There are these conveyor belts over the lava, and they are very hard to control, and there's fireballs jumping at you, and it's just super, super easy to die, so I'm gonna try not to. But yeah, this, especially casually, this is just a brick wall of difficulty compared to the previous stages. So I need to do a menu glitch here to get Amy again. And this is awkward because there's a cycle that's waiting for me right now, so this taking forever is not ideal. Okay, so now I need to hold menu storage and do this, so I'm holding left, which means I can't stand still. Okay, well, oh, geez, okay, I soft locked actually. Whoops-a-doodle. That's fine. So I was holding menu storage there, and then if you let go of menu storage while you are dying, you actually, like, soft lock the game. So unfortunately I had to quit out there. Unfortunate. This, yeah, one of several amusing soft locks that you can actually do in this game if you know some of the glitches. So let's try this again. But yeah, you see, if a fireball hits you on a conveyor belt, you almost always die, because they tend to knock you into the lava. Not always, but usually. Okay, first try menu swap. That'll make this cycle a little bit better. So we dodge this guy. I need to get a red coin, so there's the red coin. And now I need to... ah, darn it. And I soft locked it again. So yeah, when you die there, you need to not let go of menu storage, which I keep doing just out of like frustration, I guess. Man. But we'll get it eventually, or we'll, die trying. I could just do this slowly without menu storage, but what would be the fun in that? Okay, there's the red coin. There, we got past him. Cool. So we pick up this bell, and the reason we need menu storage is so we can swap to Brutus right here and just climb through that wall. Which otherwise you have to go all the way back to the swap pad and swap back to someone else. Alright, so we got through that one, which is good. That really is, like, probably the hardest stage in the game, by quite a bit. The only thing that comes close is the final boss, which is actually pretty difficult too, but... anyways. So a tricky cycle here. I want to do this butterfly minigame, and I want to not get trapped in between these two fire pillars afterwards. And to do that, you just need to do a well-timed ledge dive after you pick up this fourth butterfly. So you're running all the way down there. That was really good. Now we pick up this bell. $400. Okay, I have a lot of coins. Sometimes you're a little short on coins, but I have more than enough to buy everything I need, which is good. So I don't need to go out of my way for any extra coins. This is sort of the level where you take stock of your coin count and you can adjust a little bit if you need some extras, but we are good. So we swapped to Kuro here. We don't actually need Kuro in this level, we need him in the next level. I just swapped him here. It's a little bit easier. Nice ledge dive there. That ledge dive off of that castle saves like almost a full second compared to like jumping off of it. And then we jump over the shop because again, we don't want to talk to the shopkeeper. Alrighty. Yeah, so these platforms, when they're glowing red like this, you don't want to touch them because they will burn you. So you need to time your way through them, but that's fine. And now, we have some switches to hit. Approximately 1 bajillion. Some might say there's only 9, but I'm pretty sure there's 1 bajillion. And then a nice ledge dive there to get into this tunnel really quickly. So I'm going to purchase some items, and if you pay attention, you'll see that I have -1 fire penguins when I open this door, because I glitched a fire penguin earlier, which is pretty funny. So I can't actually buy fire penguins anymore. If I were to, if I wanted to, I would have to pay off the debt of all the fire penguins that I've purchased, or that I stole throughout the run. Because if I were to purchase it, it would go back to 0. So I'm walking here because I'm holding menu storage, so I can't run. So I can swap cats while climbing the wall. You can get up there with just Alex. If you run at the wall, you can just climb up there, but we need Brutus for the later on in the stage, so. Getting hit there is fine, as long as you don't die. If you get hit by sometimes if you get hit by fireballs, you die. Like if you hit a fireball from behind, you get knocked backwards into the previous one and you die, but getting hit like I did was fine. So we need the penguin to freeze these blocks to pick up that bell. And there's a swap pad over on to the right, across the lava pit there. And we don't want to have to go over there, which is why I did the menu storage to get Brutus. Because we need him for this bell here. And this penguin freezes some blocks, making it a little easier. Alright, 5-8. This is the boss of this world. It's pretty easy if you, well, hopefully it's going to look really easy. Basically, it's a dragon and he chases you and he's pummeling you with fireballs, and I'm going to basically stop moving at particular moments to just sort of manipulate his timing to make it so that all his fireballs will hopefully miss. So like right at the start of the fight, I'm actually not going to move for a second, and then I'm just going to randomly stop at a couple of various points throughout this run. And that's just manipulating his timing, because he just fires his fireballs on timing. So I stop right there, stop right here for a second, and yeah, you see all his fireballs are just going incredibly wide. Normally he's just like absolutely pummeling you, but with some good timing, it's not too bad. And this penguin's helpful too. You don't actually need a penguin here; it's not required, but it saves about 10 seconds, so it's totally worth it to bring it in. So yeah, that boss fight looks super easy, but it's a bit trickier than it might appear. Alright, World 6. This is the moment of truth. Do I have actually 70 bells? I have 71 coins, but how many bells do I have? Let's see. Hey. So that's good. So I no longer need to collect bells. That is all the bells we need for the whole run. So I can just run through stages now, which is really nice. Gonna take a couple of potential hits here to knock enemies out of the way. This is a cool little setup, I think. You hit that guy and then he knocks you back onto the platform and then you can just sprint off of it. Very good. Alright, so our final cat unlock is in this stage. We're not going to skip him. We could skip him, but it would literally be slower to skip him. You'd have to crawl through the mud versus just like walking up to him. So right here, I come up here to unlock Ollie. And I mean, we need him anyways, but it's literally like it would be slower to skip him. And you see there's a key down there that I just ran past. So way back in World 4, I picked up a key and I never used it because I didn't unlock Amy. Amy is sitting behind a locked door. So I actually have an extra key, which means I could skip that key, and that's the slowest key in the game. That key takes about 45 seconds to go. 45 seconds to get, so that's a big reason why skipping Amy saves so much time. Because you get that extra key. So Ollie here can fly, or fall slowly. He has his little Mario cape. And the last menu glitch in the run, we need Amy one last time here. Again, skipping Amy saves about 1.5 minutes, so even though this is, like, I have flubbed, like, every menu glitch, it's still probably saving time. I'm gonna sit here for a minute. These bees sometimes decide to smack you. Yeah, I'm not sure if they're random or it's just, like, a timing thing, but sometimes the bees will just smack you and it's really, really bad. Particularly in this stage, they can knock you off of a cliff that takes, like, 10 seconds to climb up again. But hopefully that doesn't happen. I'm gonna do one last menu storage here to swap to Brutus right here, halfway up the wall to climb up here. You're supposed to, you can just use Alex to climb up here, but then you'd have to go back to the swap pad and swap back to Brutus. So it just saves you a swap. And so these bees hopefully don't hit me. Okay, because if they hit you, they knock you down that cliff. But the bees played nice today. Alright, the final house level, we just need to pick up one key and we can move on. Don't need to pick up any bells. So, just gonna grab this key on top of this roof and then fly over the whole stage. Including jumping over the shop. Alright, home stretch here, the final 3 stages in this big temple. 3 of the harder stages in the game for sure. This one has a very tight firebar cycle that I'm going to try and make by basically doing the whole first part of this level perfectly. Including, I'm going to try and basically walk through this enemy right here, if I can. Just, it sort of looks like I'm going through him, but his hitbox is just a little misleading. I fell off the firebar though. Unfortunate. I got the cycle, I was just in time, but I flubbed my jump there. That's okay. I'm also going to play this a little safe. So as you can see, this area is it's very easy to die by hitting those fireballs. The fast strat there is to actually hit a fireball and get knocked to the left, which saves us a little bit of time. But if you hit the fireball and get knocked to the right, you just die. So I didn't risk it there. This is a cool stage. There's this cycle we have to do in the dark. So you need to hit this. Oh, okay. There's 2 switches that we need to hit, one on the left and one on the right. So let's try that again. So you hit the switch and then you jump back over it, and then this platform is right in your path, so you can hit the second switch and then ledge dive into the tunnel there. Works really nicely. And then this second area where I'm going to try and... I was a little slow there. You can just ledge dive diagonally through this whole thing. I'm waiting for a fireball now. Okay. Yeah, you can do that in one diagonal dive. I was just a little slow there, unfortunately. But that's alright. And the final boss. So, we swapped to Ollie here, who is the best. He's a lot faster than any other cats for this fight. So, the final boss is a giant black ooze thing, auto-scroller. Sure, why not? This stage is actually pretty hard. It's, again, these conveyor belts over lava that are very hard to control. It's very easy to get hit there. That was a tight cycle where you sneak past that one. And that black wall is chasing you. If it hits you, you take damage. Okay, this cycle should be okay. Just these fireballs If you're on cycle, this is all fine, and we're good. But if you get off cycle, it's very easy to just mess that up and die. Cool. So the Eldritch Abomination's one weakness is, of course, bells. So the final boss is down. Time is when I hit the finish line at the end of the stage, which is going to be in like 5 seconds. And that is time. So there's no credits or anything. That's just there's no more levels. That was the last level, I swear. And that is Super Cat Tales or Super Cat Bros. It's free to play. You can download it on iOS or Android. It's a lot of fun. I would recommend it. If you're interested in learning this as a speed game or any other mobile speed game, there's a mobile speed gaming Discord. So yeah, come join us. And thanks so much for having me. This was a lot of fun. Yeah, thanks.